A lot has been resonating with me this past year. I don't know if it's a spiritual warfare, pain that I'm still working through, growth, God calling me into something, or maybe all of it is just all at once. I don't know. But the past 4 months have probably been the heaviest and the deepest season of thoughts, emotions, and prayer for me. Different experiences have come up and have been triggering things in me and causing me to pause and ask myself questions like, what's the lesson here? What do I need to do differently? How do I need to show up differently? What do I need to do differently for myself? How do I need to show up for somebody else differently? How can I stand my ground and also be more present in life? So today I'm going to read something to you that a guy I follow on social media shared. His name is JJ, and he posts a lot of insightful and strengthening messages. This particular one really sat with me. I'm going to read it to you and then walk you through why it resonates so deeply with me right now. And sharing this message might resonate with you and might help you get through a season of change. A lot of people pray for the blessing, but forget to pray for the discipline to keep it. We ask for the relationship, but not for the maturity to actually sustain it. We ask for the opportunity, but not for the wisdom to actually steward it well. We ask for the door to open, but not the character to stay in the room once it does. And sometimes God answers the prayer anyway. Not because we're ready, but because He's teaching us. There are moments where God will hand you the very thing that you ask for just to reveal what still needs work in you. Not to shame you, not to punish you, but to show you the truth because He knows that we won't be truthful with ourselves. Because He's giving us every opportunity to do so, and we continue to avoid it. Because Scripture shows us this pattern over and over again. Blessings without wisdom turn into burdens. Favor without discipline becomes downfall. Provision without preparation leads to loss. That's not God failing you. That's God revealing you. Sometimes we don't lose what we prayed for because it wasn't meant for us. We lose it because we didn't yet have the mind to hold it. And that's the part that nobody likes to talk about or be honest about. Your body can walk into a blessing before your mind is trained to live there. Your hands can receive something your habits aren't ready to protect. Your life can change faster than you're thinking. And when that happens, we don't always get exposed by people. We get exposed by responsibility. Because the Bible teaches that renewal starts in the mind. Because you cannot keep what you're thinking hasn't been renewed to manage. That's why discipline matters. That's why wisdom matters. That's why growth matters. God doesn't just want to give you something. He wants to grow you into someone who can keep it, multiply it, and not self-sabotage it. So after the blessing, pray again. Pray for restraint. Pray for discernment. Pray for consistency. Pray for a renewed mind that can believe differently, move differently, and choose differently. Because sometimes the lesson isn't God didn't answer my prayer. Sometimes the lesson is that He did. And now He's preparing me so I don't lose it the next time. I've been incredibly grateful for the blessings in my life, so much so that I often find myself sharing gratitude I have for others. But I've also come to recognize that when life feels uncertain or something seems unsettling, whether internally or in my connections with others, my clarity can quickly fade. In those moments, I tend to shut down, overthink, and slip into fight or flight responses. It's something I've always carried. For years, I chose a quieter path, the past 7 years to be exact. I kept my circle small, my interactions limited, and my guard up. Not out of lack of desire for connection, but because I didn't feel equipped to handle the weight that can come with it. Protecting my peace often meant minimizing risk, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. There was a season where loss felt louder than anything else. Loss of people, stability, direction. It all seemed to stack up to the point where I could no longer see the good around me. I felt stuck in it, unsure of how to move forward, but deeply aware that I needed to. So I made changes, big ones. I walked away from what was familiar and began opening myself back up to life, to new experiences, and to growth this past year. At the same time, everything around me seemed to shift. And while I had asked for change and guidance, I realized I didn't feel prepared for what that actually looked like in real time. This past year has been a season of redirection in every sense of my life. Trying to slow down, letting go of what no longer serves me, creating space, not just physically, but emotionally, learning how to be present instead of constantly bracing for impact for what might go wrong. And through all of it, I've been faced with one of the greatest challenges, learning how to show up fully while still honoring my own capacity. And that became difficult at times. Even with the personal work I've done over the years, I've realized that growth isn't something you arrive at. It's something you continue to practice, especially when life starts to stretch you in new ways. There have been moments where I've felt overwhelmed, unsure, and pulled into multiple directions, struggling to find balance with anything. In the past, discomfort would have been my signal to retreat, to shut down, to assume the worst. But now I'm beginning to see those moments differently, not as endings, but as invitations to change. Invitations to sit with myself, to understand my patterns instead of reacting from them, to soften where I once hardened. That's hard. To respond with intention instead of fear. I'm learning that not every feeling needs an immediate reaction, and not every moment of uncertainty means something is falling apart. Sometimes it simply means something is shifting, asking to be understood in a new way. God's asking me to understand. So I'm leaning on to God for guidance, to get me through all of these new invitations. There are still moments where fear creeps in, moments where old thoughts try to resurface. But the first time, I'm not letting those thoughts lead me. I'm learning to trust myself, the process, others, and the timing of things unfolding as they should. It's almost ironic. I once prayed for a slower, more intentional life, yet found myself trying to rush outcomes or control what wasn't mine to control. Now I'm learning what it actually means to slow down, to let go, and no longer take control. Not just externally, but internally. To pause, to breathe, to allow. To understand that growth takes time. And clarity often comes after we sit in the unknown for a while. I've also come to realize how important it is to care for myself in deeper ways than I ever have before. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. To listen when my body signals that I need rest. To acknowledge when I feel overwhelmed instead of pushing through it every single time. To give myself the same grace I easily extended to others. Because healing isn't linear, it's layered. And sometimes the very things we prayed for will challenge us in ways we didn't expect it. Not to break us, but to strengthen us. For a long time, I repeated patterns without fully understanding them. I held on tightly even when things felt misaligned. because I believed in perseverance. And while that came from a place of strength, I now see the growth also requires awareness, recognizing when something needs to shift, and having the courage to approach things differently. What I'm learning now, just because something feels hard doesn't mean it's wrong. Sometimes it means there's more to learn about each other, about ourselves, about other people. Sometimes it means there's more to understand about something. Sometimes it means there's more within us that's ready to grow. It means choosing to stay present instead of escaping, choosing humility over pride, choosing to listen instead of react, choosing to soften where there once was tension, and most importantly, choosing growth again and again. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding challenges. It's about becoming someone who can move through them with grace, wisdom, and a deeper sense of peace. I'm trying to be careful with my words and sharing because words really change things, especially since you have no idea what someone is really going through inside. You don't want to cut where wounds have already had bandages and tried to heal from. So I'm trying to be careful navigating around the words that I'm using for my own healing. If you're going through some of these trials and tribulations in life and love, let me know below if you are willing to share that. My suggestion to you is to continue finding ways to show up loving and caring towards yourself and others. Stay strong, let go of what you cannot carry, and hang tight to what you know deserves fighting for. Continue putting healthy thoughts in your mind and telling yourself what is worth fighting for, that you will make it through, that things will be better, and that this season will pass. Also, accept the love that people can give, because not everyone can give love and care the way you think that they can, or match what we can give them, because they have their own seasons in life. Maybe they just can't right now. Everyone has life circumstances and chooses where they can show up, and they have to navigate their own self and relationships the best way that they can. Continue to love and be in acceptance of what is, whatever it is. Continue to support yourself and others where you can, and hold on to a good future of love, family, and support, and maintain an amazing attitude. It's inspiring just to live life and love life joyfully, but also speak when you feel the need to be heard, and accept if you don't fully understand, and people might not be able to meet you where you're at. But in that, sometimes we aren't showing up how we should, and sometimes we should reflect on how we show up for people, even ourselves. It's a two-way street in any relationship you encounter. Life is challenging, but it is beautiful. So take risks, choose peace, love, and happiness. I hope for all of us that we lift up in prayer and send nothing but happy thoughts to all of you. If you want to see more of my channel and things that I have going on in my life and my creativity and things that I love that bring me joy, please check out my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to share a brief story below if you feel the need to share something. And if this resonates with you, I pray that whatever you are going through, to try to accept for what it is right now and keep moving forward with your life. Keep staying strong, and send you peace and love. Thanks for watching. Bye.